Avio, lots can be anticipated ahead of this colloquium, but tell us exactly what can be expected to be heard this time around from the minister.
Well, Faith, we are expecting the minister to actually give the keynote address here at this colloquium. We understand the colloquium itself is about transforming and repositioning the mining sector as a whole. You do understand that as it is, the mining industry is going through a number of boiling issues. For example, they expected to have that platinum wage talks 2 months from now. And we do understand that in those 2 months, it could happen that one of the biggest players when it comes to representing unions, AMCO itself, could not be part of those talks if the deregistration goes ahead and they are actually deregistered as a union. The other issues, of course, is the ongoing Kolobeni issue where the mining minister, Minister Gwede Mantashe, was supposed to visit Kolobeni last Thursday, but in fact that trip was postponed because of the heavy rain that fell, damaging the road. So the minister couldn't go there. We do understand that from the Amatiba Crisis Committee, they're saying that they do not want the minister to go there. In fact, there seems to be a split on whether mining is going to happen at Kolobeni or not. Those are some of the issues that we expect to be tackled here. But joining me just to give us a more clearer understanding on what to expect at this colloquium is Professor Nengwa Kulu, who is the director of UNISA's School of Governance. Professor, thank you for joining us. But I'll pose this question straight to you. What are some of the big issues that are facing the mining industry?
Yeah, but the biggest that you already referred to is the issue of transformation. People see the mining activities taking place in their areas, but they see themselves still sinking down in poverty. They don't see themselves benefiting. So I think that's one of the biggest problems. The second major problem that you referred to in Bizana, the Eastern Cape, it's not limited to Eastern Cape. It's a problem that affects the society as a whole. We tend to ignore cultural and social issues that people believe very strongly in. That when some of the people in that area are saying that we can't have mining taking place in an area in which our grandparents have been buried, the other group said no, the mines will bring jobs to the area. So you need to double this type of problem. I think what government should have done was that they should have consulted people long before the mining activities have taken place. Even the contract has been given out. There should have been a feasibility study asking people about their views. This issue is not limited. I mean, I've come across, I live in exile for 21 years. I saw the problem was unaware. Government built schools and so on. When people did not move in, they didn't understand. Some people say, no, we can't move brought together because we live in separate villages. If we come together here, it will facilitate the movement of witchcraft and so on. So the social issues are being ignored. But I think the most important one, the issue of transformation. People mines, platinum, gold is mining in the areas. But they say, you take Marikana. Marikana is not the question of people that have been killed by the police only. Is that even before that happened, even after it has happened, people see themselves still live in poverty. You can raise issues that the mining industry is not productive these days, they're declining. Those are issues that are beyond the understanding. They see mining that happened.
Now, Professor, we just celebrated Freedom Day on the 27th. I just want you to reflect on the last 25 years and the mining industry. We're talking about transformation here today. Has the industry transformed in itself, and what can it do to accommodate transformation?
The mining industry has not transformed. It's still operating the same way that still John Rose operated. The only thing that sometimes some mines are owned by black people, but the focus has always been to make money at the expense of basic issues that affect people.
Now, looking at the Minerals Council and it recently taking the mining charter on judicial review in March itself, is that a reflection of the Minerals Council not wanting to transform? What is your take on that?
Now, I think the mining charter is very important, taken in the context of that very little has been changing in the mining sector since 1994. At least this one attempt that government is trying to create a platform from which they actually can engage into the society in order to transform the mining sector so that people who live in the mining sector, not only workers, ordinary people who live there, they must see that there's a trickling down of some of the wealth that has been generated by the mining sector, something that is not happening in the moment. There have been noises, a lot of them in Marikana, that the mining companies are trying to build, but that is one sector only, one area. But you move around in Limpopo, which is one of the biggest producers of platinum. You go to Bakersford, People live in abject poverty, but he has got the biggest reserve of platinum in the world. But people don't see any results coming to them. So whether it's the ignorance of them or not, it's not material. It's the responsibility of government. So for me, the charter would provide that particular platform. It's not a solution to every problem that government is facing.
Now, just lastly, Professor, of course, Minister Gwede Mantashe will be giving the keynote address here. What would you like to hear from the Minister in addressing some of the issues that you've put across?
Yeah, no, I've been one of the organizers together with Dr. Fikeni. We've been organizing this thing. I think he will make the right speech that would address issues that actually he knows now, because there has been a battle in Bizana in the Eastern Cape, but it's not limited there. It will be across. It's not only the problem of workers. The problem of workers can be resolved by negotiation involve wages, but the problem of social and cultural issues need to be addressed by the public itself.
Professor Nengwa Kulu, the Director of Governance at UNISA, as you understand, is saying that the industry itself has not transformed. In fact, he's saying that it's still operating the way it operated back in the days of Cecil John Rose. We're expecting this colloquium to kick off here at 4 o'clock with the keynote address being delivered by Minister Gwede Mantashe. People are still trickling in at this moment, and we will, of course, be giving you the updates as they happen.
Thank you very much for that, Avi, where Avi Ntila there out ahead of that mining colloquium to be had by Minister Gwede Mantashe.